Have you ever wondered that a beautiful flower in your garden might be banned in another country? Sounds strange, but it's true. In today's video, we'll explore 5 of the most dangerous and problematic plants that have been banned in different parts of the world. We'll find out why this happened, what consequences they cause, and what you need to know if you encounter these plants. This information will be useful not only for your knowledge of gardening, but also for understanding how plants affect the environment and human health. If you value the beauty of your garden and want to avoid unpleasant surprises, then this video is for you. Let's begin. Giant hogweed. Let's start with one of the most striking and dangerous examples, giant hogweed, also known as Sosnovsky's hogweed. This plant has enormous white flowers collected in umbrella-like clusters and looks simply magnificent. From a distance, this plant seems like a real miracle of nature, majestic, powerful, with an impressive presence. Giant hogweed can grow up to 3 and sometimes even 4 meters tall. Its leaves are truly enormous. They can be the size of an adult's palm, and sometimes even larger. The stem of the plant is thick and powerful, with a reddish tint. When hogweed blooms, white flowers are collected in huge umbels up to 40 centimeters in diameter. From a distance, this looks simply exotic and beautiful. It seems like this plant was brought from distant tropical countries. However, there is one very serious problem that makes this plant truly dangerous. Hogweed contains special substances in its juice called furanocoumarins. These substances are very aggressive to living tissues. When these substances come into contact with bare human skin and then this skin is exposed to sunlight, a powerful chemical reaction occurs. Under the influence of ultraviolet rays, furanocoumarins become activated and literally destroy skin cells. As a result, huge blisters form that look like second-degree burns, and sometimes even third-degree. These burns are incredibly painful. The itching and pain can be so intense that a person cannot sleep or function normally. These burns heal very slowly, weeks and months. After healing, dark pigmentation spots remain on the skin that can be visible for several months or even a whole year. These spots look like scars and can significantly spoil a person's appearance, especially if they're on exposed areas of the body, on the arms, legs, or face. The scariest thing is that in some cases the burns can be so serious that they leave permanent scars. There are documented cases where people suffered burns that led to serious complications, including infections and the need for medical intervention. That's why hogweed is banned in most European countries. In Great Britain, this plant is on the list of dangerous invasive species and its cultivation is strictly prohibited. In Germany, France, Switzerland, everywhere the same story. Hogweed is also banned in several U.S. states, including New York, Ohio, and others. In Canada, the ban has been introduced in several provinces. In Russia, Sosnovsky's hogweed is also on the list of banned plants, and cultivation and distribution are subject to fines. And this is not just a legal ban caused by excessive caution. This is a real necessity based on many years of negative consequences. Hogweed multiplies quickly. Its seeds are scattered by wind and water over enormous distances. A single adult plant can produce 100 to 120,000 seeds. Seeds can remain viable in the soil for up to 10 years, meaning hogweed can return many years later. When this plant escapes from the garden into the wild, it literally conquers territories, displacing native plants. Ecosystems are disrupted, animals lose food sources. At the same time, hogweed creates a threat to people working in agriculture, mowing grass in fields, or simply those who might accidentally come into contact with the plant during forest walks. Every year in countries where hogweed has spread, hundreds of burn cases are recorded, especially during summer. Fighting with already established hogweed requires serious and costly efforts. Simply mowing it is not enough. Mowed parts can still cause burns if enough furanocoumarins remain. It's necessary to completely remove the root system, which is very difficult because the roots go deep into the ground. This must be done with great caution, in protective clothing, gloves, safety glasses, and a respirator, because the juice can get in your eyes and respiratory tract. Environmental services in different countries are actively fighting hogweed, conducting regular operations to destroy it. However, the problem remains relevant because the plant is very viable and persistent. Water hyacinth. Let's move to the next character in our video, the water hyacinth. This is a plant with beautiful purple or blue flowers that emit a pleasant aroma similar to terrestrial hyacinth. Water hyacinth grows in water and looks very spectacular. The flowers are arranged on a tall flower stalk, and when the plant blooms, it creates the impression of a real bouquet floating on water. The leaves of water hyacinth are also interesting. They are rounded with an interesting texture, dark green in color. The plant looks very noble and beautiful, especially in ponds. In some countries, including Egypt and other African countries, as well as in some parts of Asia, water hyacinth was long considered a water decoration and was even deliberately planted. However, water hyacinth is a plant invader in the most direct sense of the word. It grows incredibly fast. Under favorable conditions, when there's enough water, nutrients, and sunlight, water hyacinth can double its population in 2 weeks. This means that a small amount of plants that you planted or that accidentally got into the water can literally cover an entire lake in just a few months with a huge green curtain, completely covering the water surface. Imagine a lake or large pond completely covered with water hyacinth. The water is not visible through this layer. It seems like you're looking at a green meadow. This looks impressive from one perspective, but it's an ecological catastrophe from another. When hyacinth covers the entire water body, it blocks access to sunlight for plants under the water. These underwater plants, which produce oxygen and serve as food for aquatic animals, begin to die. At the same time, water hyacinth consumes huge amounts of oxygen in the water. Its dense foliage prevents gas exchange between water and the atmosphere. This leads to a decrease in oxygen levels in the water to critical values. Fish and other aquatic animals begin to die from lack of oxygen. The water under the hyacinth layer becomes a dead zone. Additionally, the dense layer of hyacinth prevents normal water circulation, can cause stagnation, decay, and hydrogen sulfide release, making the water unsuitable not only for animals but for humans as well. This has led to a ban on cultivation and distribution of water hyacinth in the United States, Australia, South Africa, and several other countries. Particularly serious situations have developed in Africa, where water hyacinth continues to cause enormous damage to water bodies of Lake Victoria and other African lakes. Lake Victoria is one of the largest lakes in the world, and when water hyacinth began to spread there, it became a regional disaster. The lake that fed millions of people through fishing began to die. The fish that was the main source of protein and income for many people began to disappear. This affected the economy of entire countries. Fighting water hyacinth in Lake Victoria requires constant and very costly measures. People manually catch hyacinth, use chemicals, try to find biological methods of control. However, the problem remains relevant because the plant is very resilient and can return if control is weakened. In home conditions, if you have a pond with water hyacinth, you need to be very careful. Never pour plants from a pond into rivers, lakes, or other water bodies. Dispose of them properly. Bury them in compost or burn them. Never give this plant to other people because it can spread. Aconitum. Aconitum is a plant with very beautiful dark blue or purple flowers collected in tall flower spikes. The flowers have an unusual shape. They look like small helmets or hoods. This shape evolved to attract bees of certain species. The plant can grow up to 1.5 and sometimes 2 meters tall. In many gardens, aconitum is grown as an ornamental plant. Its beautiful blue flowers look very stylish. The plant grows well in temperate climates, and many gardeners love it precisely for its beauty and exoticism. Sometimes aconitum is even grown for bouquets, although this is very dangerous. But here's what is absolutely critically important to know. Aconitum is one of the most poisonous plants in the world. All its parts, leaves, roots, flowers, and seeds, contain a powerful alkaloid called aconitine. This is not just a toxic substance. It's one of the strongest plant poisons known to science. Aconitine is so dangerous that in ancient times it was used as a poison for hunting arrows and combat weapons. Ancient warriors applied this poisonous liquid to arrow tips and spear points. Even in modern times, aconitine is sometimes mentioned in historical sources as a means used in poisonings. The danger of aconitum lies not only in ingestion. Even touching the plant without gloves is unsafe because aconitine can penetrate through damaged skin. If you have micro-injuries, scratches, or cuts on your skin, the danger increases significantly. Additionally, plant toxins can be absorbed into your hands and then enter your body if you touch your face or food. Symptoms of aconitum poisoning appear quite quickly, usually within minutes or hours of contact. The first sign is burning and tingling in the mouth and throat. This sensation spreads quickly. Then nausea and vomiting begin. Drooling is another common symptom. As the poison spreads through the body, more serious symptoms appear. Abdominal pain occurs, diarrhea follows, body temperature drops, chills appear. The heart rhythm becomes disturbed. This is one of the most dangerous symptoms because it can lead to heart failure. In severe cases, the respiratory muscles can become paralyzed, leading to respiratory arrest. That's why aconitum poisoning can be fatal. There are documented cases of death from eating even small amounts of the plant. There is no specific antidote for aconitine. Treatment is mostly symptomatic. Doctors try to maintain the body's vital functions while the poison is eliminated. This can be a very long and complex process. Aconitum is not completely banned in most countries, but its cultivation is strictly regulated. In some countries, including Canada and some U.S. states, aconitum is completely banned. In other countries, it's allowed to grow, but with serious warnings. If you still decide to grow aconitum in your garden, you need to be extremely cautious. First, grow it away from living areas. Second, always work with the plant in gloves. Third, make sure the plant is fenced in and children cannot reach it. Fourth, if there are small children in the house who might put the plant in their mouth, it's better not to grow aconitum at all. Bamboo. Bamboo is a plant that fascinates with its beauty and exoticism. Straight, tall stems, resembling trees, with delicate green foliage, look simply beautiful. This plant originates from Asia, especially from Japan and China, and is considered a symbol of elegance, harmony, and tranquility. In Japanese gardening, bamboo occupies a special place. It's used to create traditional Japanese gardens. Bamboo is planted near temples and is used to create hedges and living walls. When bamboo sings in the wind, and yes, bamboo stems actually make sounds like singing when wind blows through them, it creates an atmosphere of peace and beauty. Many Western gardeners saw the beauty of bamboo in Asian gardens and wanted it in their own gardens. Bamboo really looks beautiful, grows fast, which means it quickly creates visual effect. People began planting bamboo massively in their gardens. However, here lies a serious problem, especially in Western countries. Bamboo grows incredibly fast. Some species can grow 1 meter tall in a week, and some even 6 centimeters a day. This is simply astounding growth rate. But the problem is not just vertical growth. The problem is how bamboo grows underground. Its root system is not traditional roots with a central spine. It's a network of rhizomes that spread horizontally underground. These rhizomes aggressively spread in all directions and can penetrate neighboring properties. If you planted bamboo in your garden, its rhizomes will penetrate your neighbor's property, breaking pipes, lifting asphalt, damaging building foundations. Bamboo can appear at your neighbor's 10 meters away from where you planted it. This creates serious conflicts between neighbors and costly problems. Additionally, bamboo quickly displaces native plants due to its ability to quickly capture soil nutrients and intercept sunlight. Its dense shrub blocks light for other plants, and they cannot grow under it. As a result, bamboo is banned or strictly limited in many U.S. states, Canada, and some European countries. In some places, people who planted bamboo can be required to remove it. There are lawsuits from neighbors against property owners with bamboo because bamboo caused damage to their property. If you want to grow bamboo, it's recommended to do so exclusively in containers. Large, reliable containers that limit the spread of rhizomes can allow you to enjoy bamboo's beauty without the risk of ecological and social consequences. Also, when choosing bamboo, you need to know that there are 2 types: bamboo with running rhizomes and bamboo with clumping rhizomes. Clumping bamboo is less aggressive and doesn't spread as quickly. If you still decide to grow bamboo in open ground, choose precisely the clumping varieties and definitely install a plastic barrier at least 70 centimeters deep to limit the spread of rhizomes. Colchicum. And finally, let's conclude our overview with colchicum, also known as autumn crocus or meadow saffron. This is a plant that blooms in autumn with beautiful purple, pink, or even white flowers. These flowers appear in late summer or autumn when most other plants have already faded. They look very delicate and elegant, similar to crocuses, and people often confuse colchicum with crocuses. Colchicum flowers look very charming. Delicate petals, usually pinkish or lilac in color, form a graceful flower. The plant is short, compact, takes up little space in the garden. This is exactly why many people plant colchicum, wanting beautiful flowers in autumn when the garden has few other flowers. However, colchicum is one of the most poisonous plants in the world. In fact, its toxicity is comparable to aconitum. All parts of the plant, especially corms and seeds, contain a very dangerous alkaloid called colchicine. This substance is extremely toxic to the human body. Colchicine acts on the body powerfully and destructively. It damages cells, disrupts normal life processes, causes intense inflammation. Even small amounts of colchicine can cause serious poisoning that can be fatal. Symptoms of colchicum poisoning appear within several hours. Burning begins in the mouth and throat, then abdominal pain occurs, followed by nausea and vomiting. Diarrhea follows, sometimes with blood. There's burning in the urethra during urination. Muscles weaken, joint and muscle pain appears. As poisoning progresses, the heart rhythm becomes disrupted. Collapse can develop. In critical cases, kidney and liver failure occurs. The fatality rate with severe colchicine poisoning is very high. Historically, colchicine was attempted to be used in medicine as a means to treat gout. This disease causes the deposition of uric acid crystals in joints and is very painful. Indeed, colchicine can help with gout by reducing inflammation. However, the problem is that the boundary between a therapeutic dose and a lethal dose is very narrow. Too often, people treated with colchicine died from poisoning. In modern times, colchicine is rarely used in medicine and only in very small quantities under strict medical supervision. For most people, the risk of using colchicine significantly exceeds the benefit. Colchicum is not completely banned in many countries because it's a beautiful plant and some people want to grow it. However, its cultivation must be very cautious. People receive serious warnings about its toxicity. If you have colchicum growing in your garden, you need to follow very strict safety measures. Work with the plant only in gloves. Never touch corms with bare hands. If there are small children in the house who might taste the flower or put it in their mouth, this plant should not be in the house. If there are pets, they can also be poisoned by colchicum. Never throw colchicum leaves or flowers into common compost because toxins can persist for a long time. Dispose of waste in a sealed container and throw it in the regular trash. If you or your loved ones accidentally become poisoned with colchicum, immediately call emergency services. Give doctors complete information about what happened. Time is critical in colchicine poisoning. Conclusion: the world of plants is truly amazing and multifaceted. Flowers that are banned in one country can be completely safe and even popular in others. Plants that look innocent and beautiful can hide danger. But this is not a reason to avoid gardening and flower cultivation. This is a reason to be informed, responsible, and careful. Remember that your decisions as a gardener affect not only you and your family, but also the environment. Choose plants wisely. Study information before buying. Follow local laws and recommendations. Grow flowers that will be a decoration to your garden and won't harm nature. If you still want to grow something unusual and potentially dangerous, do so responsibly with necessary safety measures and with understanding of the risks. Keep dangerous plants in containers or in limited space. Don't let them spread. Protect children and animals. A beautiful garden is the result of knowledge, attention, and responsibility. It's the result of choosing the right plants and caring for them properly. It's the result of love for nature and understanding your role in the ecosystem. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you found the information useful, interesting, and inspiring. If you like content about gardening and flowers, about ecology and the environment, subscribe to our channel. Give it a thumbs up if you liked the video. Leave comments, Your opinion and experience are very important to us. And finally, good luck with your gardening endeavors. May your gardens be beautiful, safe, and harmonious with nature.